He's in savage mode right now. He's in savage mode. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Joe Rogan just went off at Mike Tyson's new training footage, and he's fearing for Jake Paul. I mean, after watching Mike's new videos, I'm scared for Jake too. Come on, even at 57, he's hitting those pads like a madman and sprinting like the Flash. Joe Rogan's got a lot to say about the upcoming mega fight, and his insight on the bout has me thinking too. Should Jake Paul pull out from what's about to become the biggest fight of his career? Let's look at what Joe has to say, and then I'll share my take.
But he's still like a professional heavyweight boxer. He's still terrifying.
If there's one person who can scare people off even in his 50s, it's Mike Tyson. You've been living under a rock if you haven't seen his new training videos make rounds on the internet. The fight world is in a frenzy, and Joe Rogan's got a lot to say about it. Now, when a boxer ages, you normally expect them to lose bits and pieces of what made them great during their prime. But here's the thing, Mike hasn't lost anything. This man is a beast, and he's got a champion's mindset. Take it from Joe Rogan, who said if you've seen him hit those pads, you can see he hasn't lost anything. The speed is still there, the power is still there, and there isn't much more needed for Tyson to take down Jake Paul. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul has a lot of fans and boxing pros concerned because of the major age difference. Mike will be 58 by the time these two step into the ring, and Jake's 27. This kind of age difference is fatal, and fans are worried. Now, Joe Rogan has been in the fight game long enough to know what he's talking about, so I don't take his words with grains of salt. The UFC commentator has raised fears about Mike Tyson potentially dying in his controversial clash with Jake Paul because this fight is that serious. But despite these serious concerns about Mike's health, Joe isn't ruling out the possibility of Iron Mike knocking Paul out cold. You and I both know that's possible, and Joe is on the same page. Rogan said on his podcast, if he's physically capable of recapturing 70% of what he used to do, just dealing with that 90% of the power will be a problem for Paul. 70% of the physical ability and 90% of the power. Because the power is not gone, you see it when he hits the bag. The power is there 100%. Jake Paul has a lot of advantage in this upcoming fight with the massive age difference. But let's not forget that he isn't going after any 57-year-old boxer. It's Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson's mind has switched over into war. Like, he was doing this interview, and someone said to him, he goes, you look like you're in your 20s. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I just eat raw meat. He's like, eating raw meat.
Yeah, here's the thing. Mike never overestimates himself. If I were him, I totally would. But this guy is as humble as one can be. Even as the best boxer of our time, he trains like a newbie gearing up for his first fight. And that speaks volumes. He enters this war mind zone. I mean, this guy's eating raw meat to prepare for a bout with Jake Paul. Give him hormones, give him supplements, and he will be a force to be reckoned with in the ring, even when he's pushing 60s. His physique is looking better than ever, and you can tell that this man is putting in the work. You can't be surprised, though, because it's Mike Tyson after all. Joe Rogan revealed that the champion made an appearance in his podcast in 2020, and he was 300 pounds. Not going to the gym like you'd normally expect a guy in his 50s. But only a few months later, he turned up to the studio again, weighing 230 pounds, training every day, and jacked as hell simply because he was getting ready to fight Roy Jones Jr. So this guy has it in him to pick himself together and get ready for fights no matter how old he is or who he's stepping in the ring with. You don't see this every day, and not a lot of boxers are capable of working this hard way past their prime. You have to have mad respect for Mike Tyson for even agreeing to step into the ring. Now, Joe did say that it's hard to bet against the 27-year-old in this fight because science is rooting for him. But we can't forget that we're talking about a man who has smashed men before to the point no one can stand in front of him. He's got it in his mind still. There's a dark chamber in Mike's mind, and it looks like he's got the chamber wide open. Simon, his training videos speak for himself, so I don't even think I need to elaborate further. The big question is, can his body move along with his mind now? So far, it looks like his body is cooperating. However, let's not forget that Mike did find himself in a medical emergency over the weekend while on a cross-country flight. The athlete's ulcers flared up and caused him nausea and dizziness. This incident only added to the concern boxing fans have with Mike getting back into the ring after all these years. But the boxing legend himself confirmed that he's all good now. Iron Mike wrote on X, now feeling 100% even though I don't need to beat Jake Paul. I gotta agree with him, man. This guy on muscle memory alone can take down 10 Jake Pauls in his sleep, and I'm not exaggerating. You've seen him fight over the years, so you gotta give it to him. Is it even fair for Mike and Jake to step into the same ring together? The problem child is getting a lot of hate for putting up gloves against a champion who's way past his prime. But there are a lot of things to take into consideration here, even if you eliminate the age factor. Let's not forget that whether Jake Paul is considered a legitimate boxer or not is still a topic of discussion. Let's hear it from Joe Rogan first.
Boxer?
A legitimate boxer, yes. People mocked me when I was saying that before, but now I think people are coming around.
Joe believes that Jake has earned himself a place in the boxing world, and he's got every right to be called a real boxer. You heard the man. I, however, disagree with him. Here's the thing. I'm a fan of old-school boxing. I like watching real boxers put up gloves against each other and fight for world titles. Influencer boxing just rubs me the wrong way. Now, I agree that Jake's got a good 9-0 record, but his opponents don't justify him as a real boxer. Come on, he has fought retired NBA players and MMA fighters. The only real boxer on his record is Tommy Fury. And let's not forget that Paul lost to the Fury brother. So has a man who has never really beaten a real boxer really earned himself the spot to be in the ring with Mike Tyson? The answer is simply no. The YouTuber turned boxer is taking a gamble, fighting a legend. He's hoping to take advantage of Mike's age, and that isn't just a dirty move, but it's a big risk. The worst part is that this kid isn't taking this upcoming fight as seriously as he should. Fighting Mike Tyson isn't a joke. Mike is putting himself through intense training to get ready for the upcoming bout. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is gaining weight. The problem child believes taking down Mike Tyson in the ring will be child's play, and he will 100% win. I don't know about you, but sounds like a stretch to me. You don't just claim you can take the Mike Tyson down in the ring. Iron Mike dominates the canvas like no other. Jake's got some serious confidence, though.
I would win. Serious as a heart attack. I think he thinks that he would knock me out, and I think that is maybe the reason why he doesn't want to do the fight, because I think he wants to avoid maybe knocking me out.
He doesn't realize how good you are.
Exactly.
If he knew, maybe he would.
Maybe the fight would happen.
You think you can knock him out?
Can I ask you a question?
I think there's a very,
Whoa,
very high chance of that. He's not the same fighter that he once was, and he knows that.
Those are some big words for someone who hasn't even been in the boxing game for half a decade. But you know Jake, he's known for being all talk and no show, while Mike is a man of his word who delivers what he promises, and if he swore he would knock Jake out cold, he will knock Jake out cold. Exhibition boxing was making more sense when Jake Paul was beefing with Tommy Fury and fellow YouTuber KSI. But going after a champion? That's where he's crossing the line. But I guess even getting knocked out by Mike is an accomplishment, and Jake is looking forward to it. The boxing world is losing it as the fight is getting closer by the day, because fans simply don't know what to expect. Hear me out, there's too much going on. We're getting Mike Tyson's highly anticipated comeback. But at the same time he's stepping in with an influencer, it's all over the place. The craziest part is the fact that this is a legitimate fight, so it's going on their professional records. We've still got a lot to discuss here. Is Iron Mike tarnishing his legacy by stepping into the ring with a Paul brother? He's got no titles to his name, no championships, nothing. Last year when Mike was beefing with John Fury ahead of the Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou mega crossover, fans thought that Mike was done and staying out of the ring for good. John offered him every possible thing he could to get the old man to fight him, but he refused. And as crazy as it sounds, Mike Tyson versus John Fury would have still made way more sense than Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. At least the age difference wasn't as scary. Well, this fight will be controversial till it sees the light of day. The boxing world is divided, and I'm Team Mike through it all. There's not a chance on earth Jake Paul can defeat Mike Tyson. What do you think? Fill the comment section with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.